A thrilling Thursday afternoon to you, and welcome to another edition of Meet the Minister on Fairfield County's Refreshing 90.9, the TuneIn Radio app for your mobile device, and Refreshing909.com. Wherever you are in the world, thank you for making 90.9 your station of choice. I trust your Thursday afternoon is going well. We have a repeat guest back in the studios here at 90.9 FM, which we do from time to time, and we're going to add a third member throughout this process. Our first guest is Amanda Blankenship. She's the songwriting pastor at Heritage Nazarene Church, and it is a pleasure to have you back here at 90.9.
Thank you, Steve. Very excited about being here.
I think you and I first met at Mount Vernon Nazarene University.
Yes, we did.
And I voted for you for Outstanding Grad Student of the Year.
Oh, it's a shame I didn't win.
I'm sorry that you didn't win, but I did my best. One person, one vote.
You.
I didn't vote early and often and all of that stuff. So, yeah, you did a great job. A wonderful student in the program. And I think we're both glad the program is over.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and we can move
can
on.
Breathe again.
Right. We can move on to some other things for sure. When you were here, you told us a little bit about your background. Can you give us maybe 30 seconds of your church background?
Oh, sure. I'm a pastor's kid, and so I grew up in the church, grew up loving the church, grew up singing in the church, and so as I became older and participating in ministry, just started feeling a calling more towards worship. And so God has kind of pushed me in that direction, and I've got my local license and then district license, and am using that to in worship and songwriting. So.
Wonderful. And the last time you were here, I think you had your music group with you. Is that correct?
I did. I had Frontline Worship with us. We had just come out with our new album, Prepare the Way, and we're promoting that. And so it was a great time.
It was a great time. And I think it's very unique to have a songwriting pastor. Often you hear about worship leaders and musicians on the worship band or team, but pretty rare to be a songwriting pastor. How did you get involved in that part of it?
Well, it was last fall when I started that songwriting ministry in the church, and I was already working in the worship department, and just kept feeling like God was kind of calling me towards songwriting specifically. And it was a very odd thing for me, too, to think, am I really, that's what my focus is going to be entirely. And had to just kind of come to terms with, yes, this is where God has me. That's what he wants me to do. And so since the summer, I have kind of zeroed in on that, focused in on that, and just have been amazed at how God has blessed through just the simple obedience of saying, all right, I'll do it. Let's go for it. So.
Wise decision there. Following in obedience to what the Lord is calling us to do always ends well. If you're just joining us, this is the Meet the Minister program. I'm your host, Steve Brown. We're talking with Amanda Blankenship, songwriting pastor at Heritage Nazarene Church. That's in the Circleville area. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Outstanding. Now, you put together a songwriting contest. Why did you do that?
Well, it was during the summer. My husband and I were doing some planning for the songwriting ministry, and we had just kind of gotten some numbers and some things from Tragedy into Triumph that happens each year annually at our church at Heritage in March. And this was the first year that we did simulcasting throughout the nation. We were in 32 states, 2 Canadian provinces, and numbers came back in of around 47,000 people that it had reached this year. And we were all just kind of amazed and just kind of, wow, like how did God do this? And so started thinking through that and thinking it has great stories. We have people come in kind of like this year we're going to have Deion Sanders and Pastor Saeed Abedini, and just these names that have these stories of this tragedy in their life that God has used for a triumph. And was really thinking all the great moves of God and all the great revivals, and even maybe currently you think about the Jesus movement and all the praise and worship and contemporary music that's come out of that. Music always accompanies this. Correct. And so it was kind of my dream, that God kind of put in my mind that we would have a song, not just the stories, but a song so that people could, as they're leaving, still have something to listen to and remind them of how God can transform lives. So we just kind of went for it from that point. Put
this contest together, and I believe you have declared a winner in this contest. Tell me about the winner, because I think they're going to join us here today.
Yes, so we had all these songs to listen to, and great songs came in. We were just humbled to be able to listen to the hearts of people telling their own stories through song. And there were several that kind of kept moving to the top of the list. And as we got down to it, we had this one song that we just kept listening to over and over, and it was called God of My Rescue. And just the words to it, God of my rescue, I won't be afraid, my Savior, Redeemer, you pulled me from the grave, was part of this song. And we were just like, wow, this really speaks to tragedy and to triumph. And so we chose this song. It was on a Thursday that I chose the song, and I actually got to meet and speak with Natalie that following weekend, and just God kind of reaffirmed, and Natalie was the one who wrote this song and just reaffirmed in my heart that we were making the right decision. And so Natalie Runion is the winner of this contest. She is a worship teacher at Horizon Community Church down in Cincinnati, and just very excited to see what God is going to do through this song.
And Natalie Runion has chosen to join us here on the Meet the Minister program by way of telephone. Welcome to 90.9, Natalie.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome. Tell us a little bit about you. What is your church background and faith background?
Well, I, too, am a pastor's kid and grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, in ministry my entire life, and just fell in love with Jesus, fell in love with being in ministry and serving the local church alongside my family. Remember being 7 years old and saying yes to Jesus, and just deciding at that moment that I wanted to follow him and serve him and his church. And so that is pretty much where he has led me. I'm thankful for that. And I'm currently leading still here in Cincinnati and serving the local church, and just an honor to not only get to lead them in worship, but also be able to write songs that reflect the sound of, the house, the sound of the church in this generation.
Well, I'll make it a trifecta. I'm also a preacher's kid, and what do you get when you get three preacher's kids in one area? Tragedy into triumph, I think, is what you get out of that deal. That's incredible. Why did you get involved in this songwriting contest?
I had written the song God of My Rescue with a friend of mine, Craig Avon, for a very specific ministry called the Pure Hope Foundation, that is an anti-human sex trafficking ministry based out of Texas. And when I saw the contest go through my newsfeed and I saw the title, I couldn't get it out of my head. I actually kind of walked away because I was still learning to be confident in this word that the Lord had given me in this song. And it was kind of putting myself out there for rejection to enter a contest. So I kind of walked away from it and just had this nagging feeling from the Lord. Like, this song is everything that this contest is about. Just trust me. Will you trust me with this song? And so I just did. I went ahead and just kind of closed my eyes, pushed send, and I honestly forgot, because the enemy is so good at making us feel like we're inadequate. And I just felt like, I had done it by faith and walked away. And but I believed the message of this contest, just the fact that all of us have had moments in our lives where we have experienced tragedy, but the promise of his word, we can experience triumph. And so I just kind of held my breath and waited,
Well, it all worked out great for you, but also for others who are going to be able to hear the song and to have a broader distribution. You said something that really resonates with me, kind of took me back there, and that is, you were afraid to send it because it was another opportunity for rejection. As it turns out, It was another opportunity for victory and celebration. And so that's interesting, because I think maybe you have hit on something that lots of people deal with, and that is, I don't want to try something because it could end poorly, and then that would be kind of a negative on me and my emotions and my heart. So what might you say to someone who is apprehensive about stepping out because of that fear of rejection? What would you say to them now?
I'm learning that God has planted in all of us this gift, whether it's teaching, songwriting, encouragement, any of the gifts that we know about, that he has put that in each of us, and that it is a gift for us to share what he is putting in us. And that if we hold back because we're afraid, or if we hold back because of fear of rejection, we are missing out on huge opportunities to make him known, not ourselves, but him. And so when we open our hands and we give everything that we have, and we just aren't afraid, and we trust him to do with it what he wants to do, then we know that it will go out, just like his word. It'll go out and it won't return void, especially if our songs are rooted in his gospel. If our messages are rooted in his gospel and his message, then we don't have to be afraid because it's never been ours. It's his to begin with. And so I just feel like if we can trust him and trust the gift that he has given us, because he's the giver of all good things, then we are able to just hand it over and then step back and just ask him, Lord, you do with this what you want to do. And that's pretty much with this song from the very beginning what I believe he has taught me to do.
Very well spoken. If you're just joining us, this is the Meet the Minister program. We are talking with Amanda Blankenship. She's a songwriting pastor at Heritage Nazarene Church in Circleville, put together a songwriting contest, and Natalie Runion won that contest, and she is the worship teacher at Horizon Community. The song she wrote was God of My Rescue. Take us back to that moment where you got the phone call from Amanda Blankenship that you were the winner. What was your response?
I was pretty much stunned, again, because I had in my head already decided that, I didn't win, So I just felt this immense sense of gratitude, of thankfulness, of honor, just like, wow, Lord, you've chosen this song. And then just the humility behind the tragedy to triumph and just what this ministry is in and of itself, and Amanda's heart for it. It felt so right. And just that moment of just taking a deep breath and just being just like, thank you, Jesus. Like you want to take this song beyond anything I could have ever imagined. And I was just very humbled.
Amanda, Natalie said something that you have said in this process of songwriting, and that is it's usually a collaborative effort. Natalie talked about writing that song with her friend. You've written songs with your friends. You've had them in the studio here with you. It seems like there might be a collaborative effort between Amanda Blankenship and Natalie Runion developing here with the song contest process. Do you anticipate that maybe you and Natalie could collaborate on maybe some other songwritings or presentation of music?
Yes, definitely. If she's game, right? We definitely, when we met, knowing even that we were close in distance, seeing the potential for future projects, future things. So yeah, definitely anticipating God doing some more things through Natalie and, Frontline Worship and her ministry. And yeah, we'd love to collaborate.
Now, you put this songwriting contest together. Would you do that again?
I'm sure. I haven't really thought about next year yet. I had somebody ask, and I was like, well, hold on.
Yeah, pump the brakes, right?
Yeah, let me think about it for a little bit. But, I think we probably will. It was greatly received, and one of the reasons why we had done it, of course, I had questions as in, you have a songwriting ministry, and people, why couldn't they write the song? Sure, we could have done that, but with this event going out nationwide, we wanted to open it up so that we would have the best song come in. This event is for all, and so we wanted to make this songwriting contest for all too. So, and we felt like God honored that.
No question. Natalie Runion, would you participate in another songwriting contest or continue to write?
Oh, absolutely. The beautiful thing, and I have a songwriting mentor that I love to hear speak, and he said, the kingdom is always moving forward, and so that means that our songs are always moving forward with the kingdom. And so as the Lord puts things on our heart, as the Lord deals with us, as he ministers to us, there are songs coming out of us every single day that could just be for us, as we're sitting behind our piano and he's ministering to us through song, or it could be something like this where it's meant to minister to a very specific audience, like the Pure Hope Foundation or From Tragedy to Triumph. And I just firmly believe that if he has given us the gift of songwriting, that our greatest offering and gift back to him is to keep writing these songs for him, for the church, for our brothers and sisters who also need that encouragement. So if it means entering a song contest and, just kind of putting ourselves out there, I believe that is just another offering of a sacrifice of praise that songwriters can give back to the Lord. So absolutely.
Wonderful. We're just about out of time. If folks would like to get a hold of you, Natalie, or to get more information about the song, God of My Rescue, the award-winning song, how can they get a hold of you?
If you want, you can reach out to me through my email, which if you want me to, I can give you my email address.
That'd be great.
That would just be nrrunion@gmail.com. Or you can check out the Pure Hope Foundation website, which is at purehopefoundation.com, and you can get information there as to kind of understanding why we wrote the song initially.
Outstanding. Natalie Runion, thank you for getting involved in the contest. Thank you for pushing through your fears of potential rejection. Thank you for giving that gift to the Pure Hope Foundation, but also to us here in Lancaster and Fairfield County and the surrounding area. God of my rescue, congratulations on the victory, and we trust that you will continue to allow the Lord to lead you in every area of ministry.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. Amanda Blankenship, thank you for your willingness to take a little bit of risk yourself and put a contest together and then go through really the painstaking agony of trying to choose one to be a winner and continuing to use your gifting to make a difference in people's lives through the universal language of music. And we trust the Lord's continued blessing on you and your ministry for Him.
Thank you very much, Steve.
If folks would like to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
They could contact me through email. We could use ablankenship@heritagenaz.org. Or you could check out Frontline Worship on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, any of those places.
Outstanding. You've done great work, and we encourage you to keep up the good work.
Thank you.
That is Amanda Blankenship, songwriting pastor at Heritage Nazarene Church in Circleville. She put a songwriting contest together, won by Natalie Runion, and she wrote the song God of My Rescue, and she is the worship teacher at Horizon Community. Tragedy into Triumph is coming in mid-March of 2017, so stay tuned for more information on that. And you can get more info by emailing ablankenship@heritagenaz.org. Join us next week at this exact same time as we'll talk to another individual who's ministered to us here in our community or from our community around the world. Until then, have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you for joining us for our Meet the Minister program today. If you have any questions or comments about today's show, or you have an idea about some minister we could meet at Refreshing 90.9, feel free to contact us. We can be reached by phone at 740-689-0909 or by email. That address is wfco@wfcofm.com. If you'd like to send a letter, our address is 201 South Broad Street, Studio 303, Lancaster 43130. You can get your own copy of this program by going to our website, refreshing909.com, and click on the Downloads page. Join us again next week at the same time as we meet the minister at Fairfield County's Refreshing 90.9, the TuneIn radio app for your mobile device, and at refreshing909.com.